from the stadium that hosted Super Bowl 51 back in 2017. We are inside NRG Stadium in Houston. And we are underway from Houston. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. First carry for Christian McCaffrey. He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure if you're a back, you spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
Now Purdy. Got a man right side. It's McCaffrey. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. He'll get a dozen there, and it's a first down, 49ers.
I have to tell you, Brandon, I feel like a coach right now because I'm wondering why the angle route continues to be so effective when, as an inside linebacker, you're always taught, don't let someone cross your face. If they want to go outside, it's okay. But they make that outside fake, cut back inside, often to great success.
And that one too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. They'll motion the tight end across the formation. Purdy off the play fake. That's complete. It's Brandon Ayuk. Yeah, he will go out right near the 35-yard line. That one a gain of 20 and a first down.
And time to give some credit to the big fellows, the offensive line here, because you've got to have good protection on crossing routes because you've got to give your receiver time to work all the way across the field. That time, be able to scan the field, spot his receiver moving left to right, and make a good, accurate throw. Thank you, guys.
And he ran right through one tackle as he fights forward for a gain of 7.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
2nd down and 3. They go play action here. Purdy going for it all. And this is going to be intercepted. Derek Stingley picks it. And the Texans are going to get possession here as they force the opening drive turnover. Now Stroud. Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. Nick Bosa in there to bury him for a loss of 11. Well, the very first thing they told us, Charles, was we need to apply pressure early, and I would call that early pressure a nice sack to start the game.
And on the other sideline, I just have this image in my mind of the head coach on the headset with the offensive coordinator asking him if that's exactly what he saw in his mind when he called that play. And if so, is it going to be like this all day? That's a tough one right there.
So give them 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches as we just saw him do there because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days. But you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
Call it a pickup of 3 and also now likely a punt on their opening drive.
Well, there were a couple of extra defensive backs in the game, so he really had nowhere to go with the football despite his search for an open receiver. So he has to take off and run for it, but he comes up well short of the line to gain.
On is the punter Townsend as he gets this one away. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Niners will go on offense. 1st and 10. Back out there comes the 49ers offense ready for their 2nd drive. Remember last time out they threw the interception on their first drive. Good news, their defense backed him up, so it's still 0-0 here as they begin their second possession.
Yeah, and one great way to judge a defense, how do they handle what we call sudden change? When all of a sudden, you know, it goes against their offense and have to run out in the field and try and put out the fire. Give this one great kudos for getting out there and not letting that interception lead to points. Excellent job by them defensively.
Well, no matter your experience level as a quarterback, you throw an interception on that first drive, maybe a little shaken up. Nice response there to get their first down.
I think you make an excellent point. I don't care who you are. You throw an interception, it's going to get to you a little bit. But the ones that we've seen that are the best, you never notice it. They don't come to the bench, throw their helmets. They don't do any of that. They just go back out the next drive and act like it never happened. And that's what we're seeing here. Offense looked a little bit discouraged after that play, shaking their heads a bit, looking at each other. I think they thought they'd get a lot more out of that call. Sometimes you do get the running lane you want. And other times, the defensive front, they just break up the play before it can get going.
Another run with McCaffrey on second down. And he goes across midfield and down into Houston territory. Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5. Here's Purdy. Over the middle, that's complete to McCaffrey. And he is going to have a 49ers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, this might very well have been 4-down territory, but that's not going to matter now. They get a nice throw there on 3rd down, and they're able to keep the drive going.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. McCaffrey running up the middle. And he's taken down inside the 30. The Niners have the first down on a gain of 11.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and put the defense back on its heels.
Throwing here, Purdy. The coverage may be too good that time as he breaks away for 19 with his legs and a first down.
He was certainly quick to atone for his early game interception. Instead of making another mistake forcing something, he reset himself and found a lane to pick up the first down.
Here we go now on 1st and goal. They'll try to run with McCaffrey. And he'll get about 4 there as he takes it from the 10 down to the 6. So that run gets him about halfway home.
Yeah, it's now 2nd and goal. The end zone beckons. It looms. They can do whatever they want. Full playbook. Run it again, or they can go play action and try and put it in that way.
The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal. Again, McCaffrey. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Call it no gain that time, and now it's 3rd and goal. Defensively, I think they can smell a stop. Ball right around the 5 here, brings up 3rd.
And I think what they've done is they put doubt in the minds of the offensive guys. What do we do? Because now you don't have a go-to play. Either side they pick, throwing it, running it.
Touchdown 49ers. Brandon Ayuk from 6 yards away. And the Niners get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. Good bounce-back drive right there through the pick on drive number 1. Drive number 2 leads them right down the field into the end zone.
Agree totally. Excellent bounce back, tremendous poise, confidence never lost, and obviously he transmitted that to his teammates as well. What a really nice drive.
Moody good with the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. So here's Moody back out there now to send this one away. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. So now we get set to see Houston for their second drive of the ball game. And a 3-and-out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out with a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive?
Sometimes it absolutely serves that way. You get a second opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go.
Nice chunk of yards on first down. It really opens up your options for what you want to do on second. You can go right back to him and hope he explodes, or sucker the defense in before throwing over the top.
And Stroud now to throw. Open man is Kirk, complete. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And now 1 yard to go on third down.
And I think this is a route we'll see more of as this game goes on, because with his speed, they want to get him the ball in space on drag routes just like this. They want him to get the ball and run after the catch. Good job there, though, holding him for a short gain.
Back to throw. Here's Stroud. He's going to get that to his running back out of the backfield. And he is going to have a Texans first down as they're able to convert by plenty there on 3rd and 1.
And already down 7-0 after the touchdown a minute ago, so a 3-and-out here would not be ideal for them. Nice job finding his receiver there, and they get the first down.
Play action. Here's Stroud. That's complete to his rookie second-round pick. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. A well-executed 22-yard gain.
Well, certainly as a fan, you get a little bit nervous when you see him make those kind of throws. But they work on that in practice more than we know. And most of them now know their limits and know what they can get away with. And there's a completion right there.
Mixon with a first down carry. Down to about the 32. Here's 2nd and 7. Stroud looking to throw. He'll get this into the hands of Nico Collins. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers' 22-yard line. Give them 10 yards there as this offense is on a roll. This drive continues to plunge forward.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago, because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
Out of the shotgun, they run with Mixon. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
And they'll go play action here with Stroud. And he's got it. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. A 20-yard touchdown. And the Texans are an extra point away now from tying this ball game.
All the receivers in the league are plenty good enough. Otherwise, they wouldn't make it in the NFL. But the ones that go to the Pro Bowl, they have refined route running ability.
Fairbairn good with the extra point, and we are tied at 7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. The 49ers offense now, they work their way back onto the field. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game planned for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
From the 34-yard line, here's 2nd and 3. Purdy going to give it to Garindo. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down. These two teams all tied after 1. The 49ers with the football here to begin the 2nd quarter. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38 as they've got it as we resume action. Another run, this time McCaffrey. And he's going to be stopped up quickly here. Just a yard up to the 39.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
Purdy. The first catch of the game for George Kittle. And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47.
They went to their big body tight end on 2nd down in hopes that he could plow his way to a 1st down, but they were ready for him defensively and ended up holding him to a modest gain.
A yard all they need, but it's 3rd down. They'll try and pick it up with McCaffrey. And he is going to have a Niners 1st down as they're able to convert, albeit not by much, on 3rd and a yard.
I liked his focus there because he wasn't thinking about breaking that one big. All he thought about was, I need 1. Let's go get that. Ended up picking up 2.
2 first downs have him up near midfield now on 1st and 10. Back to throw, Purdy. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
Nice progress down the field was halted by that incompletion. They could try for some safe yards here to get things moving again, or keep throwing it and pushing it downfield to try and pick up bigger yardage.
Here's 2nd and 10. Purdy looking to throw. Connects with Kittle underneath. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4. Shotgun now with Purdy. He's caught on his sideline, but he's not going to have a 1st down. They say he was out of bounds, so a big call there that brings up 4th. Well, the other day they told us when we've got 3rd and 5 or less, we have to be able to convert. And I guess every team would say that, Charles, but an opportunity missed there.
What they were trying to tell us is they believe it's a matchup game at that point, and they liked some matchups that they had, thought they could exploit them, unable to do so on that play.
The football going back over now to the Houston Texans. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And, partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
And because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football.
And that was good protection there. No, that was great protection there because it allowed him to lock in on his receiver, although I think he was looking for his tight end on the corner route all the way. Nice connection there for a really nice gain.
From the gun to give to Mixon. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41.
Brandon, we just saw the benefits of being able to run the ball successfully. They pick up 4 yards on that carry. So now if you're a play caller, you can do just about anything you want, but on the defensive side of the ball, you're scrambling a little bit. Now you're behind trying to figure out, do I need to blitz him? Do I need to pressure him? How do I gain an advantage on this snap?
That's going to be brought in by Higgins. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers' 42. Third catch of this first half for him, and this one is a first down. Throwing now is Stroud. To the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feet down complete.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and of course, foot dragging.
Little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
Stroud working out of the gun. Connecting on the out route here with Higgins. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers' 20-yard line. That one good for 20 on the catch and run.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
A shotgun snap to Stroud. That's going to be caught by Kirk. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. It's a gain of 13 for number 13, and it gives them a first down. They'll run with Chubb, and he's brought down right at the 5-yard line. Give him 2 on the play.
The yards may start getting a little tougher to come by down here near the goal line. That's good work defensively there on first down, holding them to a short gain.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. They'll try again with Chubb. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. Give him right around 4 on the carry. We'll see if they want to keep pounding here on 3rd and goal. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is a time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4-down territory.
Here's a fake on the jet sweep and a run up the middle with Mixon. And Mixon not going to get there. Running into a wall here, and they'll stop him short. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. Well, let's see what they do. They're knocking on the door here in the 2nd quarter.
And you know what you look at on your play sheet? Your 2-point conversion plays, because you've drawn up a number of them in today's football. You don't just have 1 or 2 for the game. You have more like 6 or 7. Which one do you like here? Because that's essentially what you're going for right now. That spot of the field, call one of those and go get 6.
So a long drive gets them down inside the 5, but ultimately they settle for just the field goal.
And I have to think that if maybe they were a yard closer, that would have made their decision tougher, and I think they likely would have gone for it. But in this situation, they just decided to take the 3, and I think it was a smart move.
Fairbairn now, following the made field goal, he'll send this one away. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. San Francisco set to go on offense once more. The defense got the better of them last series, forcing a punt. See if they make a few changes in the game plan here and try to get points out of this drive. 1st and 10. Purdy going to lead the 49ers to the line. 1st and 10 at their own 26. And he'll start by handing this off to McCaffrey. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31.
Now, Brandon, that's the way you want to run the football. There should almost be quote bubbles above the offense right now. Bam, boom, biff. That's how they feel good about moving the football.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. A give running left now, Garindo. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. Call that a loss of a yard, and things get a little more difficult here. 3rd and 5. Run coverage excellent there from the defensive end position.
How many times do we sit with coaches and they talk about a base defensive end, a guy who can anchor and play with leverage? We just saw a great example of it. And how about the bonus, tackling the runner for a loss?
Purdy will set up to throw it here. They'll set up the screen to McCaffrey. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. He'll get a dozen there, and it's a 1st down, 49ers.
But they certainly made a point of getting him involved in the passing game here in the first half. They must have seen something in the scouting that said, hey, we can capitalize on him getting the ball possibly in the open field. And I think in the second half, that may loosen up the defense a little bit to get the running game going back inside.
On 1st down, this is McCaffrey. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
Ball spotted at the 45. Here's a 2nd and 8. They'll bring the tight end in motion right. 2nd down and right back to McCaffrey. And only a couple there as he'll take this up to the 47. This offense so far on 3rd down, they've been near perfect. 4 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6. Play action, and now here's Purdy to throw it. Out to his left. And able to pick up the first across midfield to the 47. Give him 7 on the tuck and run, and it'll get him a new set of downs. With nowhere to throw it, decided to scramble, and a nice job, CD. Got the yardage that he needed.
Yeah, and his teammates are certainly going to appreciate that effort, even if his coaches don't, because they would have wanted him to slide and protect himself. But he chose team gain over personal protection.
And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up. Found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
Now Purdy. Pass caught by Pearsall. And he's going to be taken down with another 1st down as the stop's made at the Texans' 33. 11 yards there as they connect on the quick slant.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Purdy now to throw. Complete on the deep ball.
They had their backs up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Purdy from the gun. He's going to drop this down to McCaffrey. And they'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. The Niners passing game in sync now. They've got another 1st down. Here's Purdy. That's caught out right by Jennings. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, San Francisco. Juwan Jennings, a 20-yard touchdown. And the 49ers are once again back in front.
When you're a great route runner, it makes you that much better as a receiver because now your quarterback trusts that you're going to be where he expects, and he's able to deliver the ball on time.
Moody good with the extra point, and the lead is now 14-10. So following the touchdown, here's Moody back out to send it away. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. Houston set to take over. And looking at this situation, Charles, you got more than a minute. You've got all 3 timeouts. Probably no need to play this safe.
So what you're saying is that we're doing a little bit of a mind meld here, aren't we? Because I'm thinking along the same lines as you. This amount of time, don't be compelled to play it too safe. This is a chance to get points on the board. Press it a little bit.
Yeah, especially since a touchdown here gets you the lead. Open man is Higgins. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already. As Stroud now to throw. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1.
As tight ends go, he might not provide the super flashy plays very often, but he's pretty reliable, usually an excellent target, and normally catches what's thrown to him, but he didn't on that play.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Now Stroud. He's got Higgins over the middle. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Two yards still to go. 3rd down now. The throwing again is Stroud. He's got his running back out of the backfield. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers 35. Texans passing game in rhythm right now, picking up another first.
Short yardage situation, you have to wonder if they thought that they were just going to run it inside. But you have to be cognizant of the back slipping out of the backfield trying to find some open space. And that's exactly what he does to the tune of a first down.
Open man is Kirk, complete. This will be a gain of about 8 to the 27-yard line. The Texans going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. Two yards to go, 2nd down. Here's Stroud. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. A good pickup, but it will come on what should be the final play in this first half. That's it for the first half. 2 more quarters to go. We'll have plenty more to see after the break. The Texans down on the scoreboard, but they do get the first crack here as we are back underway in the second half. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. So here's the Texans offense now. They get set to start this 3rd quarter. This offense, Charles, had a strong first half throwing the football, at least in terms of yardage, but that hasn't translated so far on the scoreboard as they begin the third quarter here, trailing and looking for a little momentum.
Yeah, you're right about that because, let's face it, in the first half, most of their focus was in the passing game. And to their credit, resulted in a healthy amount of yardage. So I would think that at halftime, they're going to anticipate that defense loosening up a little bit to try and cover the passing lanes. They've got to get the running game going, and there should be some gaps to run through now.
So give him 2 yards there on the completion, and that will bring up second down.
I know it was a gain, but you have to sense probably a little bit of disappointment there because when it's out there in open space, I think they expect to get more out of a play, don't you?
Especially when you're getting it to your guy out of the backfield. You're expecting him to be able to create something, be a little more shifty.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Good open field tackling held it to an okay gain.
And he makes it all the way down to the 13-yard line. A huge play there for Houston. 55 yards.
Let's just call it as we just saw it right there, a breakdown defensively. Seems like no one went with the tight end, and no one really did. Had all sorts of space in the middle of the field. Yeah, everyone else was covered, but he was not. Big play results.
And he'll find his way down right around the 12. They follow up that gigantic gain with the tiniest of pickups, 1 yard.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
They follow up the first down 1 yard run with a minimal gain of 2. Now 3rd down and 7. Stroud to throw it. And he'll just get rid of it. To give you an idea of how accurate he's been throwing the football, we're in the second half. That's just his second incompletion.
Well, if he's that locked in, that means everyone's locked in because to me it's like throwing a no-hitter in baseball. The pitcher may get the credit, but a lot of people making plays behind him in the field.
Fairbairn able to put this one through. And the lead is down to 1 now at 14-13. So they were facing the deficit coming out of the locker room at intermission, and at least they're able to get the field goal to cut into that deficit.
Yeah, now your offense feels pretty good about itself, right? A little bit more up to speed coming out of the break. You turn to your defense now and say, hey, we got 3 there. We're chipping into the lead. Can you help us out? Hold them. Let's get the ball back for us.
Fairbairn now following the made field goal. He'll send this one away. The lane opens here. He's past the 30. And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34. Here's a look at the 49ers offense as they make their way out for their first possession of the second half. Purdy going to lead the 49ers to the line. 1st and 10 at the 34. The drive begins with a run by McCaffrey. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage. Tim Settle, the Virginia Tech Hokie, in there on the stop.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature at the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. He's able to make a nice play there to swallow up the ball carrier.
Out of the gun, Purdy. That's complete. It's Kyle Juszczyk. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
Good, sure hands there from a guy not accustomed to catching a whole lot of passes. But how about the way he was able to pull that one in and pick up good yardage?
The Texans here on 3rd down, putting an extra defender in the secondary. And the tight end goes in motion left. Purdy from the gun on 3rd down. And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. That was Will Anderson getting home and finishing the play.
Seems to me that our friend Old Momentum, I think he's definitely changed teams in this game.
It's only going to grow after that sack, and now, heck, they can get the ball back here and possibly even get the lead. Here's Thomas Morstead now, as he'll punt it away for the second time. It'll be a net of 39, 41-yard punt, 2 on the return.
And the Texans will take over.
Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
That certainly appeared to be a play call where they were just trying to make second down, second and short. I think they thought the coverage was off a little bit more than it was. Nice job there pressing up on it and forcing the incompletion.
Stroud.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And now this is scooped up by the 49ers. And he will bring this one back. It's a fumble return for the 49er touchdown. This was a close game. They needed a little breathing room. Boy, they got it right there on that return for a touchdown.
Yeah, we would say that this could be huge. Forget it. It was huge. Gave him a comfortable lead.
Moody good with the extra point.
And the lead is up to 8. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return.
And a decent return out to the 27-yard line.
And now out comes Houston. They start on the ground with Nick Chubb. And give him 6 yards here as he's stopped near the 35 at the 34.
If you're in the offensive huddle, you're smiling after that play because you've certainly got them guessing now. Second and short, could they just hand it off for another big gain? Or did they take advantage of this spot to take a big shot downfield?
And from the 34, here's 2nd and 4.
Chubb on the counter.
And good running there as he'll take this all the way up to midfield.
16 yards on that one, and also a Texan first down.
Brandon, I think you and I were both raised the same way in the game of football. You run to set up the pass, but I think we've discovered in this NFL, a lot of teams pass to set up the run. And that's what they've done throughout this game. They've aired it out, thrown it around the yard. Now they've come back to the running game, and they find a way to be successful with it.
And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
From the 42-yard line, here's 2nd down and 2. Stroud looking to throw.
And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down.
At this point in the game, in the situation they're in, partner, these incompletions that we're seeing, they need to turn into positive snaps, and soon.
So 3rd and 2. This quite possibly 4-down territory, though, if they're stopped. They give to Mixon to try to pick it up. And they needed 2. They could only get 1. 4th down.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
The Texans send the punter out as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And out of bounds, sailed over, looked like right near the pylon. This one's going to be perfect. Directional kicking at its finest, right down at the 1-yard line. They start on the ground with McCaffrey. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain.
54 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
Well, both teams practice this situation, and this time the guys on offense won, and in a very nice way. What a run from that position on their own goal line.
Gave them some good breathing room.
I wonder now, do you still stack the line of scrimmage, or do you play normal defense? They may have backed them off with that run.
And brought down, but not before reaching the 25. 18 yards, first down Niners.
Well, every now and then I can speak from experience because I do know, as a defender, it is awfully hard to stay with your man on these crossing routes because even if you don't get picked, there's a danger of being picked either by one of their receivers or maybe by your own defender. And on that play, that worked quite well.
That's complete to his tight end, Farrell.
And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. 10 more there and another first down.
Nice job there of utilizing his big target, and he didn't overthink it. Understands the catch radius, understands that he knows how to use his body to keep defenders away from the ball, and puts it right out there for the nice pickup.
Purdy looking to throw.
Completes it to Jennings. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well.
As long as you go through your proper reads and progressions, the drag route can be one of those old reliable plays because usually it's good for a good chunk of yardage as we just saw there.
And those guys like it, right? They can get the ball with a full head of steam.
Especially against man coverage because man coverage, they're typically running away from someone and not worried about traffic coming out on the other end.
And a gain of 4 gets him right to the midfield stripe.
Now a 2nd and 6.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw.
That's complete to Pearsall.
And that's good for a gain of 6. And they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches.
They run with McCaffrey off the option.
And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
Brandon, what were they thinking on defense there? That looked like they were playing for the pass. That was 3rd and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That was way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. Not sure why they were in that set.
Yeah, I'd say you ought to have a few men in the box there.
And he maneuvers up the middle for 3, and it's 2nd down.
That play reminded me a lot of a former teammate of mine. We used to call him the trash man. His ability to sift through traffic and make plays was uncanny.
And that's exactly what you want from your Mike linebacker.
And they'll come up 2nd and 7. And throwing here, Purdy.
Over the middle, that's complete to McCaffrey. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
And a nice gain and a broken tackle along the way, and really we shouldn't be surprised, should we? That's what runners do, especially the best ones. They break tackles and gain extra yardage.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Purdy. Got a man, that's Ayuk.
Heck of a move and then brought down near the 23. That'll go for a gain of 7, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Purdy will set up to throw it here.
And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
I know at times people think we use it too often, but you've got to be able to throw guys open. And when you read zone, You've got to stick it in there before your receiver gets to the next guy in the zone. Otherwise, you bring him into the play.
And that's precisely what allowed that defense to disrupt the pass.
They go play action here. Purdy.
And that is incomplete.
But based on the play we just saw there, he might not be the guy you want to challenge in coverage on these all-important snaps. He certainly looks dialed in right now.
So Purdy off and Moody on for the 49er field goal.
They'll spot it at the 30, so this is a 40-yard attempt. And his kick is indeed good.
And the lead now 11, 24-13. So a nice kick there as they are able to add on to their lead.
And that's exactly what you're looking to do. Maneuver yourself into range. That way, if your drive stalls out, you're able to get something out of it. And they do so right there.
So after the made field goal by Moody, he's back out to kick this one away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line.
The Texans offense now, they get set to head back onto the field.
Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone.
Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. Fights loose. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
Now 2nd and 8 at the 32-yard line.
They'll stay on the ground. Mixon again. And takes this one across the 35 to the 36. A gain of about 4.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
Back to throw. Here's Stroud. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Texans first down by about 3 yards or so as they wind up getting 7 there on 3rd and 4.
Back now here on EA Sports. It's Texans football, but they trail here as we get started in the 4th quarter.
Throwing now is Stroud. Over the middle, he gets it to Collins.
And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. A good pickup there, 21 yards.
Well, every drive from here out is definitely crucial and critical. They know that they need to get at least 3 here to get it back to a 1-score game. But I can't imagine that in their huddle that they're thinking at all about getting a field goal. They want to get into the end zone and then try and get the ball back again.
Throw over the middle, caught by Jordan.
So the completion good for 7 there, and it'll be 2nd down. From the gun, it's a give to Chubb. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1.
If they're going to get a first down out of this, they're going to have to earn it because there's been tough going in the interior there. And here we are on 3rd and 1. Be prepared. Brace yourself. Could be some contact going on.
This will be play number 7 on the drive. 3rd and a yard. They keep it on the ground. This time it's Mixon.
And he is going to have a Texans first down. At least it appears that way. And he got it by maybe the length of a football.
Now, yes, a two-possession game, but a good chunk of time on the clock, so they have the ability still there to run it on second and short, but maybe they need to pick it up a bit.
You're right. They did pick up the first down there, but as you mentioned, they have to pick up the pace now because it's a two-possession game. They've got to get there twice to make sure they have a chance to win.
And they've got it in the red zone now, down at about the 19. A solid run on first down, gain of 7, leaves them with a 2nd and 3.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. And they keep those sticks moving forward, that time with a gain of 3.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10.
Mixing up the middle. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
That was a good run, and it got to the second level. And what I mean by that is that's where the linebackers usually play. First level being the defensive front, last level being the secondary. But the strong safety position ended up making the tackle. And oftentimes, we call them a hybrid. Combination defensive back, combination linebacker. We saw the linebacker make the stop.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard on the play, so now they need 3 yards on 3rd down.
There's no question that coming into this game, this defense was pretty vocal about its desire to take this running back out of his game. And all that pregame wolfing has turned into results.
From the gun on 3rd down, here's Stroud. And it is caught. And the Texans are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
Well, they've had a great, impressive drive going here, and that pickup ensures the drive continues.
And not only do you continue the drive, which is demoralizing for the guys on the defensive side of the ball right now, but you make your own defense happy. They're able to get a little more rest over on the sidelines while this one continues downfield.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Texans. Dalton Schultz from a yard out.
And the Texans have made it a one-score game again here in the 4th.
And he is a reliable target. They like to get him involved. They got him involved there for the score.
And they should. He's a very good player. Remember, they can use him in certain positions, so many different spots, and he usually comes through for them.
They'll let Mixon try and run it in. And he will get into the end zone to cut the lead down to a single point. I guess the coach looked at the 2-point cheat sheet, said go for it, get it to a 3-point game, and they did it.
Yeah, and sometimes you just throw out time of game. You don't worry about that. There's just a feel sometimes in making that call, and he felt good about what he had for a 2-point conversion, and now they're only down 3 and feeling great about themselves.
So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away.
And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27.
The 49ers offense making its way back out there. And they had a long drive last time, but they had to settle for a field goal, and I'm sure that's how it felt to them, settling. They probably should have gotten in the end zone.
Yeah, not out-and-out joy, right? Because that's what you get when you put the ball in the end zone. But there are benefits to that type of a long drive. Your defense gets a chance to take a break, adjust a little bit, maybe get themselves ready to get back out on the field and play a little bit better. So they'll take the benefit even though they wanted the 6 points.
Yeah, maybe wore down the other defense. We'll see.
Now 2nd and 3.
Shotgun handoff now to McCaffrey.
And McCaffrey going to pick up a Niners 1st down as he gets this up past the 40.
And this is exactly what you're looking to do offensively. If you can start stringing some runs together like this, you'll keep churning out 1st downs, and that's going to put you in a great position to carry this one home.
Purdy now to throw off the play action.
This one into the hands of Kittle, the tight end. No gain on the play. And that'll bring up second down.
Brandon, just mark that under the category of just not successful. Trying to throw the ball, just didn't work on that one.
Completed it. No yardage.
Now a 2nd and 10. Here's Purdy. And that one into the hands of Ayuk downfield.
And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. A gain there of 21 yards. So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 38.
Back to throw, Purdy. Pass caught by Pearsall.
He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play. If nothing else, they've already taken a couple minutes off the clock here already as they come up 2nd down.
Purdy going to give it to Garindo.
5 yards on 1st down, but now just a 1-yard pickup there on 2nd. Here's the 7th play of this drive. This is 3rd and 4.
Purdy now to throw. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is going to have a 49ers 1st down by about 3 yards or so as they wind up getting 7 there on 3rd and 4.
They've been moving the ball well, but this drive was in danger of stalling out. Fortunately, this is a nice throw here, and they're able to pick up a new set of downs.
Now Purdy.
And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, San Francisco.
Brock Purdy.
25 yards.
And the 49ers are able to build on to their 4th quarter lead. But that's certainly an important touchdown there. It makes this a 2-score game.
But as we've seen, no lead is safe in this one with the way these two offenses have lit up the scoreboard. I would imagine that on their sidelines, they're both yelling at their defenses, hey, you want to get involved here? One big play from you, that could win the game for us.
So here's Moody back out there now to send this one away. And he won't quite make it to the 25. Houston set to take over. Well, that last touchdown we just saw, what an important one. Now it's back to a 2-score deficit for this crew as they take the field here, and they are in desperate need of finding the end zone. And Stroud now to throw. Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
I can assure you, setting up a screen is much more difficult than it appears. It requires excellent timing from everyone on the offense, and a defense's #1 goal is to throw that timing off.
2nd and 10. Stroud to throw it.
To Mixon on the check down. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36.
I don't know about you, but that almost felt like old-time football there. 3rd and 2 is not necessarily just a running down anymore. A lot of times they want to throw the ball. They went back to the roots and powered forward and got the first down.
Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Stroud looking to throw.
A short one going to be taken in here by Schultz. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. That's good for a Texan first down, a 12-yard pickup. But correct me if I'm wrong, you're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
Out of his hands quickly to Higgins.
And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46.
From the 46, here's 2nd and 4. A shotgun snap to Stroud. Got a man. It's Collins, complete.
6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
Again, it's Stroud. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
So 2nd down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40.
Stroud out of the gun here. He'll complete this one to Collins. A big play in this football game. 3rd down and 1. And this pass broken up. The contact well-timed there, and now 4th down.
Well, how about the coverage we just saw him break out on 3rd down? Dime defense, blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
The kick by Fairbairn is good, and this is back down to a 7-point game. All right, so they needed 2 scores to get back in the game. The field goal there, maybe not exactly what they wanted, but the necessary first step.
There's still time remaining, and there's enough time to get it done. They've got to get it the least a 3-and-out here to get the ball back, preferably a takeaway.
Fairbairn now following the made field goal. He'll send this one away.
And out a little across the 25 to the 27.
The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. And this game not quite over yet. And we'll likely see them take all 3 timeouts defensively, so they can't just kneel this one out. They're going to have to try to run a few plays.
You're exactly right. They've got to get a first down and make them use up all their timeouts in order to feel like they have this one in hand.
Got to figure the rush is going to be fierce again as they come up 2nd and 13. Another run, this time McCaffrey. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long.
A handoff running right, Guerrero.
And he is going to lose yardage here. And now we're going to get a timeout defensively. So another stop, 1:50 left in the football game. Here's Thomas Morstead now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And a fair catch taken back near about the 35, 36-yard line.
So Stroud and the Texans
down by 7, a minute 45 to play. How will this thing pan out? We'll watch as they come up on first down.
Now Stroud. Finding Schultz.
And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40.
They come up now on 2nd and 2. Stroud to throw it. He's got it to Collins, complete.
And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. That's what they need right now. Get the first down, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
Just playing smart football, understanding the situation, making the plays necessary, and making sure that clock stops at every opportunity.
Here's Stroud.
Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes in bounds. He's been a busy man here in this one, and they're showing off some nice footwork to stay in bounds.
And with those types of catches and the volume that we've seen in this game, wouldn't you keep him busy as well?
I would.
Of course. You got to keep throwing it to him. He keeps making plays.
Stroud.
That's complete. It's Collins.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down, executed it to perfection.
Plenty of time to work with here, but the timeouts, they're gone. Here's 1st and 10. Throw right side, taken in by Collins.
And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. They got exactly what they wanted there. Out route, catch, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
And I have to criticize defense here because you know the situation. You want to keep them in bounds and have the clock run. So I'm sitting on the outside portion of the field and not letting them throw an out route. Throw anything inside and I'll make the tackle. An out route? That's not the way you're supposed to play it. This has been an up and down, back and forth type of a game, hasn't it? Maybe this long drive could take a little bit of the wind out of their sails, kind of settle things down a little bit.
They'll come up now, 2nd and 9. To throw with Stroud.
Throwing the out route and complete. That's Collins.
And the Texans are going to be looking at 1st and goal as they move this down to the 4-yard line.
He has been terrific today, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Running flawless 2-minute drill right here. This has been quarterbacking 101 with a flourish.
Now 1st and goal.
And movement here by one of the Texans up front. In comes the flag.
Partner, what a finish to this one. I mean, this offense, they had it down there inside the red zone, but ultimately couldn't execute that final snap to find the end zone.
Yeah, and they're going to walk away from this one, and you know what's going to go through their heads the entire time until they get to play again. If we could only have that final snap to do over one more time, maybe with a different play call.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. With that, we say so long, everybody.